Beautiful landscapes, fascinating wildlife, wonderful natural environments. A naturalist's paradise. We're at Lake Kerkini, a beautiful bird-rich wetland in northeastern Greece. First, introductions, and by we I refer to Rod Thorpe, cameraman Peter Swain, and myself, Malcolm Rymer.
Area. I think we ought to go there again, don't you? Just this is where
we're long-standing birding buddies, old friends who have natural history interests in common. We're passionate about wild, natural environments, such as this, habitats which ideally are teeming with wildlife. The opportunity to highlight this wonderful wildlife region and to share these images comes courtesy of this guy, Nikos Gallius. We first met Nikos at the British Birdwatching Fair. Nikos runs a small hotel, Hotel Limneo, situated in the heart of the rural village of Chryssochorafa, near to the eastern shores of Lake Kerkini in northeastern Greece. The village and immediate area lie within the Ramsar-designated conservation region of the Lake Kerkini National Park. The wildlife, particularly its diverse and abundant birdlife, is truly amazing. It's very beautiful, Nikos proudly reflects. You'll have to come out and see for yourself. We did, and we did. It's compelling, and so easy. Just a 3-hour flight from Stansted, and another hour and a half by road northeast from Thessaloniki, and you're in the midst of this birding paradise. You'll have the place to yourself. Hotel Limneo is open all year round, and there are exciting birds and wildlife here throughout the year. The main seasons for wildlife enthusiasts and photographers are early spring, through till early summer. That's from the last weeks of March, all the way through till late May. Then autumn, September, October is very good. And again, any time throughout the winter months. Each season is different, with each period bringing a refreshingly new outlook to the natural world of Kerkini. As a seasoned travelling birder, I am well aware that the quality and success of the overall birding wildlife experience is two-pronged. 1. The environment, the ecosystems and the wildlife which they support. And 2. The convenience and comfortable ambience of the on-site accommodation. After a long hard day in the field, base camp these days has to deliver those creature comforts. Birding Lake Kerkini and surrounding mountain foothills, and staying at Hotel Limneo is the perfect combination. A highly recommended experience. Hotel Limneo, base camp, is a homely, family-run guest house, providing a high standard of bed and breakfast accommodation. The modern, centrally located property, as mentioned, is situated in the heart of the rural village of Chryssochorafa. Chryssochorafa, situated amidst a fertile agricultural region on the Ceres Plain, is surrounded by a wildlife-rich mosaic of fields, pastures, marshes, woodlands, and of course the vast wetlands of Lake Kerkini. The landscape is bordered by mountains. To the north, Mount Kerkini, in the imposing Rhodope range on the Greek-Bulgarian border. In addition to the agricultural importance of the fertile plain, the region is also noteworthy for the herds of water buffalo which are farmed on the wetlands. So note, should you be caught up in the morning rush hour, you could be delayed in getting back for breakfast. Buffalo are huge, stubborn, inconsiderate beasts. And also, as you might expect in this environment, fishing, both as a livelihood and as a leisure activity, play an important role in the community. Chryssochorafa is a traditional Greek village. Basically, and initially, a confusing network of roads and streets, all radiating from a central square. Don't expect discos, nightclubs and other trappings of tourism. Do expect a peaceful environment, where the relaxed pace of life and tranquility is broken only by a bill-clapping storks breeding in the square, the calls of amorous collared doves, and the odd grumpy dog. Limneo Guest House is situated by the village square, close to the community's amenities. At least 3 tavernas, a couple of pizza places and cafes, a bakery, and nearby a number of stores and mini-markets stocking everything you may possibly need, including essentials such as a comprehensive range of dried beans with which to fill that photographer's beanbag. Anyway, find the square and you'll find Hotel Limneo, an attractive 3-storied building, clearly proclaiming its name. The guest house offers 8 bedrooms, 6 of which are double twin rooms. 2 other, larger rooms being triple bedded. All rooms are spacious, have free wireless internet connections, air conditioning, heating, fridge and television DVD facilities. Breakfast, conveniently taken at a time to suit your particular needs, is served in the dining living room area. A communal facility with a balcony with great views overlooking the square and mountainous scenery. Having outlined why and where to stay in the Lake Kerkini National Park region of Ceres, now perhaps a word or two expanding on when and why to pay a visit. In the introduction to Steve Mills's useful site guide, Birdwatching in Northern Greece, he paints a compelling picture, and I quote, "A May morning here is simply magical. The sun is rising, the lake is still, the sky is blue. Pelicans thrash the water in a feeding frenzy. Herons and egrets patrol the shallows. Bee-eaters are everywhere. The air is full of these songs of nightingales, golden orioles and great reed warblers. A hoopoe flies over with its butterfly flight. All four shrikes are about. Penduline tits call, and so on, so on." Okay, we get the picture. This is no exaggeration. This is how it is. This season, early spring, that's mid-March through till the end of May, is heaving with activity, with migrant populations of birds passing through the region, and others joining the residents, intent on setting up breeding territories throughout the area. Spring comes early in these parts. Some of the resident birds, the cormorants, herons, the golden eagle for example, start their breeding cycle as early as February. By early May, when scores of other species of migrant breeders arrive, they already have broods of hungry chicks in the nest. Throughout March, April and into May, a wonderful, colourful diversity of flora blooms, delighting the botanists. Recently emerged butterflies take to the wing. It truly is a magical time. These special, precious weeks are very popular with groups of naturalists and birders. So to avoid disappointment, early booking of accommodation is recommended. There's less pressure at other times, seasons when the environment and birding again have so much to offer. Autumn, early September, well into October offers superb birding. Early on during this period, return migration is still well underway. Flocks of bee-eaters and red-rumped swallows line the wires. Family parties of Caspian terns frequent the lake, and huge concentrations of spoonbills, egrets, night herons, squackos and the like linger in the area. Now, with the receding water levels, the wetlands become a vast attractive feeding table for waders and many other shallow water mud lovers. Food is plentiful. Here an ibis finds and deals with the spirited frog. Kerkini is privileged to host the globally threatened Dalmatian pelican year-round. But in addition, good numbers of its cousin, the impressive great white pelican, are still present on the lake at this season. Soon, Late September into early October, the whites will relocate south into African wintering grounds. Later in the autumn, usually mid-October, Kerkini regularly hosts another very welcome passage migrant, the endangered lesser white-fronted goose. This handsome wildfowl, the mountain goose as it's known on its Scandinavian breeding grounds, often lingers in the lake region for a week or two before continuing on its migration east. Autumn is usually blessed with wonderful weather at this season. Early mornings on the eastern bank, season of mists and mellow fruitfulness. Once again, the lake's abundant and diverse range of bird life in residence throughout the winter months creates great birding. Weather patterns vary, especially in the present pattern of global unpredictability. In most years, the region experiences cold, if brief spells of wintry weather. Snow is not unusual, particularly in the mountainous foothills around Kerkini. At other times, mild, spring-like weather conditions prevail. During the first week of February 2014, for instance, temperatures climbed to 19 degrees Celsius. This, Chetty's warbler and chiffchaff in song, crocuses in bloom, and the first butterflies on the wing. Anyway, despite the prevailing conditions, you're guaranteed some wonderful birding. The geese will be here. Up to 1,000 European white-fronted geese overwinter in the area, from late autumn through till mid-February into early March. Their dawn and dusk flights across the face of the mountains, accompanied by their evocative contact calls, are for me the memorable sights and sounds of a Kerkini winter. The same, I suppose, could be said of the other large, iconic waterfowl of the region. The flamingos, benefiting from ideal, shallow water conditions, are now present in their maximum numbers. 1,200 featured in this February's count. They'll frequent Kerkini till their departure to breeding grounds in late February. Perhaps take a dawn boat trip to maximise the spectacle. The bedraggled, punk-headed Dalmatian pelican has now undergone a dramatic, colourful transformation from its autumnal appearance. Now, mature birds flaunt the bright orange-red throat sac of their nuptial plumage. Once again, take a short boat trip with a local fisherman to enjoy the birds at close quarters. A rewarding experience for both birder and fish-winning pelican. Other waterfowl and waders number in many thousands. They include mallard, teal, widgeon, pochard, pintail, gadwall, shoveler, shelduck, grebe, a few ferruginous duck, red-crested pochard, the odd white-headed duck, a handful of smew, great and pygmy cormorants, hundreds of avocets and lapwing. The list goes on, not forgetting the overwintering wild swans. This year some 250 buicks and 50 or so whoopers, many in family parties, grace the wetlands. Even more overwinter in harsher winters. Their far-carrying, trumpeting calls add to the general soundscape of the wild wetlands. And where there's so much life, and unfortunately, but inevitably death, there's going to be these scavengers, the hunters, the opportunists, harriers, hawks, falcons, eagles. Wintering spotted eagles can reach double figures around Kerkini wetlands. So, enough to be going on with for the time being, in this brief profile of a wetland. A far more comprehensive appraisal of the wildlife of Lake Kerkini throughout the seasons will be documented in the forthcoming film, Lake Kerkini, Portrait of a Wetland. It's available from Malcolm Reimer, Wildlife Videos. The ideal Christmas present. And finally, special thanks to Nikos for keeping a first-rate guesthouse in just the right place. Theo, Costas and the staff operating in the Lake Kerkini National Park. Theo and Thomas, the fishermen, for memorable birding trips on the lake. Steve and Hilary for founding the conservation group Birdwing, and for creating the excellent sight guide book Birdwatching in Northern Greece, and of course my team of companions: Rod, logistics and directing, and Peter for his beautifully crafted film work.